A's Extra.
Welcome back to the Anglers Extra pregame show. Chatham heads west to face Falmouth once again. First time in Falmouth since opening night. It's time for the manager's show with Chatham manager Tom Holliday, Emmanuel Berbari. Tom, as we were talking about, first time here since opening night. The team's changed a lot since then. What comes to mind when you walk onto this field?
We got two guys that are in the lineup, I think, that played the first night. And their infield grass looks 100% better. And every time the Cape winds up, the fields always look better. So it's like season ends and everything up here gets real green. But that's about all I got for you.
Last night, another close game for your team. What's been the biggest difference between being on the winning end and the losing end of those?
Well, you think the manager would figure out how to win a one-run game, you know, and God, I don't know. It's kind of like either I'm not smart enough to pull it off, or we're just a little short. And I haven't pinch hit in about 50. About 50 years. So. It'd be nice if I had a guy on the bench that I could bring out and play Superman. You know, I thought about it last night, and then I started thinking, you know, the best thing to do is the kids have had 3 or 4 at-bats. Just let them go do it. You know, maybe this will be the at-bat that they get a chance to be a star. And the one thing that I've tried to pound home to all of them, and a lot of these guys aren't really Division I players yet, but they're going to be, and this experience is going to be good for them. But don't be afraid to be the guy to win a ball game. Don't be afraid to be the guy that gets the big hit. You know, if you're afraid of it, then you got a lot of growth in the future, you know, and you better hurry up. But, you know, I keep getting good effort, and as long as I get good effort, I'm satisfied.
You mentioned it's been a while since you pinch hit. What would be the Tom Holliday scouting report if he stepped in right now? Well,
I can tell you this. I'll put it in play. You know, I didn't strike out. I mean, striking out embarrassed me, and I would do my homework. I mean, I would pay attention before I went to the plate, and if a guy had a tendency, I'd know what it was. And, you know, I don't know whether that's a lost art or not. I really don't know that. I mean, you guys provide so much information, maybe too much. I mean, you guys nail the tendencies. We give them to the players. Some of them look at them, some of them don't. I don't know that I would want to know as much as you guys provide when I played. I think it would have been too much. But at the same time, you know, when you tell me a guy leads a fastball 70% of the time or 80% of the time, I go in there and sit on that fastball and put it in play. We just, we take fastballs and we swing at bad breaking balls, and we swing at fastballs up out of the zone. And I know the umpires have something to do with that. And it affects even though we talk about it as a group all the time, they get in the moment, they get under a little tension. And to identify balls and strikes, it just seems like it doesn't exist. And that drives me crazy. And that's when you start thinking there is something wrong, you know. But maybe if the strike zones were tighter and better, hitters would get better at bats. But, boy, it's really tough this year. I think hitting in the whole league is way down.
On the hitting note, a couple of roster notes, including Nolan McLean from Oklahoma State, who's with the team. What type of hitting intangibles does he provide?
Well, he's got major league power, and he's got a great eye. And after watching him this year, I think he played in close to 40 games for Oklahoma State. He's a legitimate third base major league prospect, and you know, he had to take 6 weeks off at the end of the season due to more or less a doctor's recommendation, and he's a valuable part of their program. You know, and really played football last year too, so he's going to give up football and give baseball 100%. So, doctor said he's clear. You know, the rumor was he was tinkering around playing with some beer league team in Raleigh, and Josh called and said, "Dad, Nolan's clear. You might want to call him." I called him, and it was like, "How quick can we get you up here?" And we did. So we got him a little extra work this morning. We're going to get him a little extra BP tomorrow morning. Maybe tomorrow night we'll get him in at bat as a pinch hitter. And then maybe come Tuesday, Wednesday, you know, maybe right after the break, you know, I'll give him his first start, probably DH him. But I think maybe, if nothing else, you know, we're getting him back into a baseball mood. he's going to help us because we're low on bodies. I mean, we're down. I got 3 guys on the bench tonight, and one of them doesn't feel good. So I had to change the whole batting order, the whole lineup, 5 minutes before I left the house. And as long as it's just guys that, if they're just puny, that's fine. The thing I told you this, you get your eye open right now for those mysterious need to shut it down and go home sicknesses. And quite frankly, I don't have any patience for that. I want to see who's here on that last day, and I'll hug all of them.
Here's some more hugs. Chatham manager Tom Holliday, appreciate the time.
You bet.
We'll have the full lineup, the pitching matchup, and a lot more coming up next on the Anglers Extra pregame show. First, let's go back to Ben Schulman.